Have you ever noticed that the men who chase the least often seem the most at peace, not because they've given up on love, not because they're cold, arrogant, or too proud to make an effort? Something else changes. From a young age, many men are taught that love has to be earned. Say the right things, give enough time, prove yourself enough, and maybe, finally, you'll be chosen. So they chase, not because they're weak, but because somewhere along the way, they begin to confuse effort with value. But chasing has a cost. Enough rejection, enough one-sided effort, enough emotional exhaustion. And eventually, a different question begins to emerge. What if I don't need to convince anyone to see my value? That question rarely changes everything overnight. It grows quietly, over months, sometimes years, until one day, chasing no longer feels like love. It feels like abandoning yourself. At the center of this shift is something psychologists often associate with a stable sense of self-worth. People with genuine self-worth don't depend as heavily on external validation. Their confidence isn't built on being wanted. It's built on knowing who they are, even when no one's watching. That's why they stop chasing, not because they stop caring, but because they no longer believe affection should be forced. Real connection doesn't begin with persuasion. It begins with mutual interest. There's another piece to this. For some people, constant chasing can be influenced by what's known as an anxious attachment style, a tendency to fear losing connection so deeply that it becomes harder to walk away, even when a relationship is no longer healthy. But as emotional security grows, that fear slowly begins to lose its grip, and a quiet realization takes its place. Loneliness fades with time, but sacrificing your self-respect can leave scars that last much longer. Now, this doesn't mean these men never make the first move. They do. They express interest. They communicate honestly and clearly. But the moment they realize the effort has become one-sided, they step back, not as punishment, not to play games, but because healthy relationships are built on reciprocity, not pursuit. The strongest men aren't always the loudest. They're often the ones who've learned when to stop chasing something that refuses to choose them. Because real confidence isn't measured by how hard you can chase someone. It's measured by how peacefully you can walk away when your value isn't seen. And maybe the psychology of men who never chase women was never really about women at all. Maybe it's about reaching a point where your self-respect becomes stronger than your fear of being alone. Because the right connection will never ask you to abandon yourself, just to be accepted. If this perspective resonated with you, subscribe to Mind Unfolded for more insights into the hidden psychology behind human behavior.